Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Farvision Network Cybersecurity Weekend Update for Saturday, June 6, 2015. Our top story this weekend, there was a massive hack of the Office of Personnel Management. The DoD notified them June 8th. Records on 4 million current and retired federal workers were stolen, many believe by China or other state actors. They are treating it as a matter of national security. There's an amazing amount of damage that can be done with this. Credit card hacks, Social Security fraud, IRS hacks, 4 million records. The system was supposedly being handled by something called Einstein, $380 million a year protection system to protect these things. And this just goes to show what you have to be vigilant in what's going on. You can't rely on someone not getting in, because if they have the time as an advanced persistent threat to get into your system, it's really only a matter of time. Next up, there is a worm that's going around called Moose. Many common routers such as Netgear and Linksys routers that have a web facing. You have to actually turn on external editing of your router from the web, which no one should really ever do. If you have to admin your stuff from the internet, turn on security, the HTTPS, turn that on, and have a really good password. What has apparently been happening is there are some weak passwords or automatically default passwords like login, which are pretty terrible on any day of the week. But if it's only internal on your own home router and you've got 1 or 2 PCs and you're not giving out Wi-Fi to anybody, you're probably okay. It's not that big of a deal. But if you turn on external interface, you have to actually go turn it on. They don't come with it automatically. You have to turn it on. Then it's visible from the outside, and then it's susceptible to just logging in, generally speaking. If you have an external facing and you haven't changed password, then it's absolutely child's play to have an automation system outside just randomly brushing across big blocks of IP addresses to randomly guess passwords for common routers. You know, you can do that in your sleep. It's not a big deal. But there's apparently a worm that automatically goes and attempts lots of automatic passwords and then gets into the router and changes things automatically to sniff out social networks of your Instagram and your Facebook. And that's a little different. Normally, if someone gets in, they can get into your home network and people have things shared automatically, and some documents and various probably not so exciting things for home users. But this is a little bigger of an automated system, codename Moose. So make sure your make sure you change the password on your home router. Next up, the surveillance bill passed. The U.S. Patriot Act was changed. It lapsed for about a weekend, I think it was last weekend. It had gone out. There was nothing being done. Or I guess they probably kept everything, the records, these massive vacuuming of cell phone records that was happening at the NSA apparently was illegal for maybe a day and a half. They probably didn't stop doing anything at all. But the control of the records was passed to the phone companies. The bill was changed a little bit. Probably best to have something in place, but not as much of a privacy overreach as what we had before. So of course the Congress is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Some people argue for a point and the others argue against it, and they meet in the middle and come up with a plan that works for both parties, and no one's really happy, but the job gets done. So the phone companies are keeping the records. If you wish to get to that data, file with the court, get a subpoena, get whatever you need, and then go after the records. But the automatic collection of everything you get your hands on has been stopped for now. This is something I didn't actually even cover last week. The IRS got hacked, and it's already old news. They have a cybersecurity staff of close to 400 people. It's 363 people, and they're still using Windows XP. And Windows XP hasn't been supported in years. It's 13 years old. They haven't updated these things, and there was a hack. And apparently, as part of the reporting, that came to light. It was that they are still using Windows XP within this organization, and it shouldn't be a news item, but it is, because that's how you get in, because these things haven't been patched or updated, and they get taken advantage of, and that's how these things happen. And that's all for this weekend, folks. I want to keep it short and sweet. We went a little long this time. I'm going into kind of a longer rambling situation. Instead of just reading headlines, I want to actually talk about some of the articles this time. We are repositioning some company items to work more in this cybersecurity realm the way we should be working. And, we've been involved in cybersecurity for quite some time. And now is the time to get the news items out there and start talking about this stuff a little more. So in order to talk about them a little more, I have to actually talk a little more. Surprising, right? To keep up to date to all of our fantastic news articles and items throughout the week, please go to our social media pages shown below. And have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.